I love this. They stood at the entrance of their own tent. Now, they had been watching Moses worship. And their idea of worship was watching Moses, you know. It wasn't what they were doing. It was what they saw happening. You know, how many people, you know, that, I hate to be mean, but, you know, they never end up in a church. They watch church on TV, and there's some value in that. But, man, you cannot replace being together with God's people in person. One friend of mine that was a mentor years ago, he had told me that he was out visiting, and he ran this couple, and he said, yeah, we watch we watch church every week on TV. And he said, well, let me just tell you one thing. You can watch them, but I guarantee you they won't come and marry you or bury you. There's something to be said about being in the community of the people of God. Anyway, they stood at the entrance to their own tent, right? And look at this. I love this. I'm just going to read it. Whenever the people saw, they worshiped, each at the entrance to his tent. Man, they were worshiping at their place. They didn't need somebody else to worship with. They went straight before God at their place to worship. At their place. In verse 11, I think it gives us such a great example. It said the Lord would speak to Moses face to face as a man speaks with his friend. As I thought about that, as I thought about worship, as I thought about this change, there's something powerful about Almighty, holy God calling Moses his friend. It's no wonder they respected Moses. But you know what's beautiful? God says, I want to be your friend. What a great verse. John 15:15, he says, I no longer call you servants because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I've called you friends. For everything I learned from my Father, I have made known to you. You know, isn't that amazing? That God says, I want a face-to-face friendship with you. We should never get over that. That the living God would want a friendship with us. As I came to the end of this thing, I thought about Moses' plea, because, Moses has been dealing with these people. They finally come to a point where they see the cloud, the glory of God, and they worship at their own tent. They worship there before God. And then they're getting ready to take this journey, and so Moses is just saying to God, God, you said you wouldn't come close with us, Lord. And he begs him. Verse 13, he says, if you found favor if you're pleased with me, teach me your ways so I may know you and continue to find favor with you. Remember, now he's talked about he's in good standing with God, but he's trying to get a good word in for these brats, these people, right? Remember, this nation's your people, Lord. You saved them. You called them out, Lord. You chose these people, these brats. And the Lord replied, my presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. That's the wonderful thing. We tend to make a bunch of rules. This is what worship is. This is what a relationship with God is. I've got my 15 rules, and, I check that and I mark that. And yet the truth of the matter is, it's really just God going with you. It's that relationship with God, that friendship with God, being in connection with God and worshiping Him. And then I love verse 18 as I close this thing out, as I thought about the worship part of it. God goes from being distant to close as they come close. In verse 18, Moses says, show me your glory. What a powerful prayer for all of us still. Show us your glory, Lord. Anyway, that's what I thought about as I got in this prayer time with Moses and God and the people, and how they had been far away, and then God in his mercy brought them close. And, we're really not that different. We have a tendency to wander off too. And I love the fact, though, that God is a God who really wants to bring us back, who wants to minister to us and bring us back. So let's just spend some time praying, the time that we have left. Somebody will open us. Scott, if you'll open us, I'll just close when we get quiet.
Father, thank you that we could gather here tonight. Thank you for this great lesson from your word. And so much of my Christian life